Imagine you're standing in line for a massive promotion, but your mentor tells you to step aside and take the hardest, lowest paying job available. Would you listen? These ruins are the remnants of a remarkably prosperous ancient kingdom. In this realm, the aging ruler had exactly 100 sons, all of them highly educated and directly in line for the throne. 99 of those brothers spent their days consumed by traditional royal ambitions, aggressively positioning themselves for ultimate power. But the absolute youngest, Prince Gamini, operated entirely differently. Despite being dead last in the line of succession, Gamini possessed an extraordinary advantage. He was placed under the guidance of the wisest, most serene teacher in the entire kingdom, and he treated this man like a second father. Starting at the very bottom of the hierarchy rarely matters if you possess the humility to absorb the instructions of a true master. Who gives you wise advice, and do you listen? At the time, standard royal protocol dictated that as soon as a prince finished his education, he was shipped out to the countryside to claim and govern a distant province. But Gamini's teacher told him to do the exact opposite. He instructed the young prince to refuse a province entirely, stay behind in the capital to serve his aging father, and volunteer for the exhausting, highly unpopular job of collecting fees and taxes. Gamini followed these instructions without hesitation. He approached the grueling work of tax collection with strict fairness, and he personally distributed food and necessities to the hungry, quickly earning the deep, unshakable affection of the local citizens. True leadership is built quietly, day by day through unglamorous service to the people around you, rather than demanding a prestigious title. When the old king passed away, the choice of a successor fell directly to the citizens. Because of his relentless goodness, the people completely bypassed the 99 older brothers and crowned the youngest as King Gamini the Righteous. Is real leadership about asserting power, or is it about serving others? When the 99 older siblings heard the news, they were furious. They felt utterly insulted that the 100th in line had taken a throne they firmly believed belonged to them by right of age, and they quickly threatened to take the crown by force. Sudden, massive shifts in authority have a way of exposing the hard line between respect that is earned and entitlement that turns dangerous. The elder princes made good on their threat. They raised 99 separate armies and marched them straight toward the royal capital to initiate a massive civil war. Look at the perimeter of this illustration to see the sheer scale of the threat. A continuous ring of armed soldiers aimed their weapons inward. Rather than panicking, the new king retreated from the walls to consult his old mentor. The heaviest test a leader faces is whether they react to a crisis with predictable violence or by stepping back to seek a higher, calmer wisdom. The teacher's advice was radically simple. He told the king to refuse to kill innocent people. Instead, he instructed Gamini to take the entire royal treasury, divide it into 100 equal pieces, and physically send those portions out to the rival armies. Can kindness solve complex problems that fighting never could? When the brothers received their shares, they were confused. The unified wealth was immense. But then the math set in. They realized fighting each other would fracture the kingdom exactly like this, leaving them to rule tiny, isolated territories, completely vulnerable to any outside enemy. By voluntarily giving away the grand prize, King Gamini completely dismantled the mathematical logic of the war, dissolving his brother's motivation for jealousy in an instant. Led by the eldest sibling, the brothers immediately sent back their portions of the treasure as peace offerings. They accepted Gamini's rule, walking into the palace not as conquerors, but as guests to celebrate the preservation of their home. This unbroken peace allowed the realm to flourish. The kingdom's wealth remained completely intact, securing an era of safety and prosperity that would stand the test of time. Surrounded by his court and his newly reconciled brothers, King Gamini stood before the crowd and directed all the credit away from himself, publicly honoring the wise teacher who had saved them all. Enduring greatness rarely comes from ruthlessly demanding authority. It comes to those who have the courage and the humility to follow the guidance of a wise teacher.